गुरु वाह 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 गुरु गुरु वाह 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 गुरु। Internal Simran. Just close your eyes. Mind should chant, mind should listen. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ Who felt sleepy? You just came, no? Okay. Right now, who just after doing the Simran? One. Anybody else? Two, three, four, five. Sleeping is good. Six. Sleeping is good. But let me ask you another question. While sleeping, who saw the dreams? Okay. Right now. I'm talking about right now, not your general sleep. Right now, while doing the Simran, if you were sleeping, did you see the dreams? No? Okay. How do you feel now? Do you feel sleepy or are you fresh? Sleepy? Raise your hands. Okay. Feeling fresh? That's good. So, this is what we have to learn. If you are feeling sleepy right now, also, meaning either your body is tired or when we were doing Simran, our focus was not in our own voice. Maharaji in Gurbani tells us, Ai Panthi Sagal Jamati Man Jeeta Jagjeet. In the Sangat, as a Panth, as a Jamati, as a class fellows, we have to walk on this spiritual path, as in the Panth. And what we have to do, we have to win our mind. So this is a very important. It is easy for the Sikhs to understand actually, but only if we want to understand how the Gurmukh Pyare did the Shidi, martyrdom. Lot of Gursikhs did martyrdom, Shidi Pai Jina ne. How did they do it? Did they felt the pain? Yes or no? Depends who you call a Shaheed, right? If they were in an avastha, in a stage where we normally are in our day-to-day life, then probably they felt. But if they were in avastha, that their body went in samadhi, their mind was connected with Vaheguru, then they don't have to worry about the physical body. Now, problem is we don't understand these things properly. If the children are talking outside, our mind goes there. If some disturbance is there in the room, our mind goes there. Our focus, our surti should be so strong that even if somebody is playing a toll, we should not come out of that connection with Vaheguru. Because Maharaj talks about that there are two raste. One is live the rasta, and then there is another one which is the rasta of. The slide is a little bit, wrong here, which is fine. I was still trying to make it properly. But live the rasta is the path of Vaheguru. Tat the rasta. You can come forward if you can't see the slide. Um, that has to be done on your computer. I mean, I can try to zoom it, but I think you need to, yeah, something zoom there. Yeah. But anyway, come forward. थोड़ा जा ज्ञान ਆਪਾਂ ਲੈਣਾ, very little ज्ञान right now, and mostly we have to progress to the next level. Mind will always have thoughts, right? Just like yesterday we discussed about it. Two types of thoughts, three types of thoughts, but we normally discuss two types because the third type of thoughts people get confused. It's a little bit harder to understand. because they think it is good. And it is good, no doubt about it. First kind of thoughts are Rajogun, and the second are the Tamogun. Rajoguns are your worldly thoughts, hopes, desires, wishes, anxiety, all that sort of stuff. Tamogun is the dark thoughts, lust, sexual desire, anger, greed, attachment, ego, false pride, whatever you want to say. Gossiping, slandering, cheating, lying, all that happens. Hopefully, nobody was taking a tamoguni thoughts here. Hopefully, because we are sitting in a sangat. There are no dark thoughts right now, hopefully. But obviously, there might be slight rajoguni thoughts, as in some hopes are there, some desires are there, maybe thinking about your home and all. And when you are doing the Simran, if you are getting the worldly thoughts, your body will automatically get tired while doing Simran because your mind is still wandering, mind is still thinking about something. But while doing Simran, Vaheguru Simran, our thoughts, if any thought should come, the thought should be of the Sattvagun. That's what Simran do. When we do Sas Gira Simran, Vah Guru, it will change the type of thoughts. First, it will be the Sattoguni thoughts. Then, from Sattoguni thoughts are good, like compassion, contentment, humility, tolerance, all that good thoughts. When we read the Gurbani, same kind of things happen. ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਸਤੋਗੁਣੀ ਮਨ ਸਤੋਗੁਣੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰਦਿਆਂ ਵੀ ਸਤੋਗੁਣੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸੇਜ਼ ਇਨ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਸੰਤ ਕਾ ਮਾਰਗ ਧਰਮ ਕੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਕੋ ਵਡ ਭਾਗੀ ਪਾਏ if we want to cross the Dharamkhand, which we were discussing yesterday, then we have to have Sattoguni thoughts. And remember, you cannot force your mind to have Sattoguni thoughts. Mind is going to do whatever mind has to do because mind has these thieves. And sometimes when we force our mind to have higher thoughts, Sattoguni thoughts, good thoughts, we get into the fifth thief very easily. Hankar, ego, false pride, home, right? That sort of stuff. The fifth thief becomes very active. Because what you do, what we all do, oh, मैं ते गुरुद्वारे जाना जी. I go to the Gurdwara. I do Amrit Vela. I do Simran. I wear the Bana. I wear the Dumalla. I have Kulla Dada. Right? That sort of stuff. I wear Panch Kakar. Now, these are good things. These are supposed to be good things. But we get ego out of it, Hankar out of it. That's where the problem is. Because this dress which Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj gave us, the Panch Kakari, it should make us humble. It should not bring an ego, but the other thing is happening. And this is with all of us. So that's why Maharaj says, the Amrit which I am giving you outside, if that Amrit is not coming inside, then you are not doing what I told you to do. That's why if you see, Maharaj made us Sant Spahi. What did Maharaj do? He made us Sant Spahi. What is Sant? Sant is saint. Sipahi is warrior. We have to become saint first, then warrior. This dress is of a warrior. But what is happening is we are becoming a warrior, but not a saint. That's why we have problems. So that's why it's very important to understand where is our mind going. It doesn't mean that somebody who is not keeping the Panch Kakar cannot be a saint. Because Maharaj says you have to become a saint first. But it also doesn't mean that somebody who is warrior, who has Amrit Chak, and their mind is also Sant. That's why we have to closely observe our mind. Mananu dekhna. And what is our mind? What is it doing? That's very important to understand. Because Maharaj says, I don't know why you're seeing this. I don't know why you're seeing this. It's a presentation mode. Anyway, you can read it, right? Okay. Maharaj says, Mantu Jyot Swarup hai, apna mool pachan. We have to recognize our mind. That mind is a divine light. Everything is gonna stay here. Nothing is gonna go with us. If we are wearing the bana, if we are having a long case and all, and if we don't have a humility, then we are not doing the justice. We are not doing the justice. We have to make sure whatever we do physically, it should match our mind also. When I say match our mind, meaning the thoughts of our mind also. Because Gurmukh is the state of a mind, Sikh is a state of a mind. Sikh is a student. A mind has to become a Sikh first. A mind has to become a Gurmukh first. Physical body will come later, right? But if the mind is not a Sikh, the mind is not a Gurmukh, then there is a problem. Then we are doing something wrong. And that's why yesterday also we discussed about this. I've divided it into three parts. Eman karma, Eman dharma, Eman panch tat ka janma. Even the mind has same five elements, just like a physical body: air, water, earth, sky. All those elements, they are the same elements. Because from where these five elements came? They came from sun, panch tat, suno, pargasa. All these five elements have also these colors. I want to bring you guys here. So when you are doing simran, what should we do in simran? Maharaj says your dhyan, your focus should be only in one thing. Your focus should be in your own voice. Dhun mein dhyan, dhyan mein janya, Gurmukh akat kahani. There should not be the focus in anything anywhere else. But if you are seeing a colors, red, yellow, green, blue, whatever color you are seeing, meaning that is a problem. Now, small demonstration which we do all the time, and let's do that because this is a practical class. So everybody, and you can use these slides. I can give it to you later, so don't worry about it. I can circulate it to Penji. But remember, there is a question here, a warning: verify wording with Ramanpreet before use. Because I can also do mistakes, right? And I want people, if I'm opening it up, actually, we have a website. I'm not mentioned it here, but I'm gonna any camps. Actually, they are already there. We have a playlist on our YouTube. You can go there and you can use all the slides. Everybody can use it, but just consult me before you use it. Because if you want to change it, because there's a lot of things which we say which are not there in the slides, right? So anyway, let's do the small demonstration, all of us. This is a practical class. We always do this in the camp so that we come to know where we are at this time, right? So I want you to close your eyes, sit in a comfortable position. Mostly chonkada is good if you can. If you can't do it, that's also fine. Take a deep breath in through your nostrils. Deep breath. Hold it and exhale from the mouth. Again, deep breath in from the nostrils. Hold it. Exhale from the mouth. We'll do it once more. Inhale from your nostrils, deep breath. Exhale from your mouth. Now, cover your eyes with your hands. Don't push it too hard, just lightly. Why we are doing this? So that the external light should not come in. Just cover it. And now, notice the color, what you see out there. Just notice, don't tell me right now. Just notice it if there is any color. If there is no color, that's also fine. Anything you see, focus there. No Simran, nothing right now. Just focus on the color. Do you see any color? All right, you can remove your hands. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. So, anybody who see a blue color, black, purple, you saw stars, little stars, okay, red, yellow, green. Who saw green? Okay, both of you guys. All right, you also saw green. So all these colors, and before we go into the description of these, anybody when you were doing this, and we can try it again, let's actually do it. Again, close your eyes, sit in a comfortable position. Let's do deep breath in from your nostrils. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Exhale. Deep breath in from the nostrils. Hold it मतलब अपना साह नू रोक लेना. Now exhale from the mouth. Again, deep breath in from your nostrils. Hold it and exhale from your mouth. Now, put all your focus not on your eyes, but inside your ears. कुछ नहीं करना, हाथ नहीं कवर नहीं करने, अखां कवर नहीं करनियां. Put the focus, your ध्यान in the ears. ਕੰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਲੈ ਜਾਓ ਧਿਆਨ. And we have to sit there, not doing the Simran, for at least a minute. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Did you heard any sounds there inside your ears? No? No sounds? Anybody else? Anji? Like some ringing sound, cricket sound, something like that. Bindiyan di awaaz. So let's dissect this into two parts. First is the colors. The colors and the sounds are all natural. All these colors are the colors of these elements. Now, normally you don't see it because you see a physical body and you judge a person based on the color of the physical body or the shape or a form. But when we close our eyes, we have a ability to see the color and hear the sounds of these five elements only when the mind will be in the peace. Very important. If the mind is not in peace, then you're not going to hear anything, or you're not going to see any colors also. Might see colors depending upon where you are, because sometimes there can be more thoughts, less thoughts, zero thoughts. Obviously, we all have thoughts right now, maybe one or two thoughts, but the thoughts are still there. Now let's dissect this. Blue is mostly the color when your surti, when your focus is towards the ether. It is also called a sky. It is also called akash. गुरबाणी च पढ़ते हैं ना, सुन गल्ला आकाश की, कीटा आई रीस. Blackish, purplish, bluish, kind of. Not exactly black, but some maybe navy color or something. Yeah, yeah. So something like that. It means your surti is here. Now, when you have air or the sound of air, this is sky, then it is the heart chakra, mostly greenish. Who said greenish? Good. Very good. That's actually very good. Under that, any color, yellow, red, again, that's perfectly normal. That's a colors of red is a color of the earth, right? And that means it can be good or bad, but meaning you're stuck mostly even the Simran sessions also in the worldly stuff, which is fine, and that's why we are here for. From the heart, if you will see from the chakras perspective, जिन्नू महाराज ने घर भी किया, छे कर छे गुर छे उपदेश, गुर गुर एको वेश अनेक. Remember, Gurbani talks about all the yoga terms, but Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Nanak's house has changed it, redefined it. Because Maharaj never told us to do the yoga the way yoga is prevalent in this world. In Gurbani, yoga means a connection of a mind with the Vaheguru. It's a connection. Yoga means a connection. That's why Maharaj says, Galli jog na hui. But just by talking, you cannot do the. We have to be silent. Who has to be silent? Mind has to be silent. But also, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, "Chup hai chup na ho wai, je laye raha livtar." Somebody is chup and saying, "I'm just silent." Maharaj says, "No, you cannot be silent like this." चुप किन्नू कराना है? मन नू. If the mind is still talking, you are not chup. Mind is still talking with the thoughts. You are not chup. That's why again and again, because yogi ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਸੁਰਤੀ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੇ ਧਿਆਨ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਾਂ. But inside, all kinds of thoughts which are there on your screen are coming. That's why we have to be very careful about these things, what we are doing. Don't worry if you are seeing some different colors, because we are not here for that. What we are here is, how can we make our mind silent? Whenever you are sitting for Simran, and we didn't do it today, and that's kind of my mistake. Whenever we start a Simran session, Sasgra Simran, Antargat Simran, we have to do certain things before we sit. First thing, we have to inhale from our nostrils, exhale from our mouth at least 3 times, and hold it as much time as you can. And then we have to start with एक, आओ सारे पढ़िए, एक ओंकार. ना एक ओंकार ते रहो अजय, मेरे नाल ठीक है. एक ओंकार सतनाम ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ. At least 5 times. And maybe the fifth time you can say Jap Ad Sach Jugad Sach Happy Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Sach. Then we start the Simran. Vahguru, Vahguru. आओ करिए. Vahguru, 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 Vahguru. Close your eyes and sit in a comfortable position. Guru, Vahguru. Listen to your own voice. Vahguru, 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 Vahguru. Close your eyes, everybody. Guru, Vahguru, 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 Guru, Va, 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 Guru, Vai, Hare, 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 Hare, Vai, 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 Hare, Guru, Vai, Hare, 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 ਤਰਲਾ ਤਰਲਾ ਵਾਹਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿ गुरु वाहे 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 वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. You like that? Are you in peace? Right? This is what we have to achieve with Vaiguruji's Kirpa. Always remember this. Vaiguruji's Kirpa. We cannot do anything on our own. We cannot come in the Sangat on our own. Appe Sangat Sad Bahale Appe Vida. Nothing is in our hands. जब ये जाने मैं किच करता तब ये गर्भ जून में. Meaning we will come in reincarnation again and again if we say I did it. No, we have no power. ना हम किया ना करेंगे ना कर सके शरीर. We cannot do anything. Remember that. It's all His kirpa, all His kirpa. Every swas, every breath we take, it's all His kirpa. We have to become a beggar, not in front of any physical person, only in front of Vaheguru, only the front of divine, which is inside you. Hum pikhat Pikhari tere, tu nijpat hai data. He is the one who is going to give us. And what we have to ask? Only ask for naam. Vin tudd horje mangna, sir dukha ke dukh, de naam santokhiya, utre man ki bhukh. Because the worldly things, whatever we may have, whatever we may want, will never give you contentment. The Trishna, the desires will still be there. To remove the desires, there is only one thing. Trishna bujai har ke naam. Only Hari's naam can give us the contentment, the santokh. Until the time we don't get the contentment, we are not content, we cannot progress out of the Taramkhand. Such a beautiful word Maharaj used for this realm, the Taramkhand, which we are discussing from yesterday, and we'll go to today. We will only go to the Gyan Khand if you're ready to go to the Gyan Khand. You know what I mean? We will only understand Gyan Khand only if you are ready. Even if we are not ready by end of this camp to go to the Gyan Khand, we're just going to touch it lightly. That's it. We are going to stay in Taramkhand. And that's why we are doing this practical. What I have seen is in all the camps, mostly during the practical sessions, when we are doing Simran, few people will turn up. But that's the main thing which we are here to do. As a Sangat, Maharaj says, Sant Jana Mil Harjas Gayo, Kot Janam Ke Dukh Gayo. Kot Janam, you know the meaning of Kot? Crores, millions. Whatever pain we had from the millions and millions of births, when we were insects, when we were birds, animals, or even human beings, if the santokh is not there, nothing we will achieve. बिन संतोख नहीं को राज्य रोटियां भी खा लो जिन्नियां मर्जी जो मर्जी कर लो you earn millions of dollars you might have gold cryptocurrency anything you might have contentment will not come only naam will give you the contentment even if you recite Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj by heart contentment will not come unless you do what Gurbani is telling you to do ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕਹੈ ਸੇਵਕ ਜਨ ਮਾਨੈ ਪ੍ਰਤੱਖ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਿਸਤਾਰੇ simple then you will do have a darshan of Vaheguru you will merge in Vaheguru first merge which we are trying to do and which I see a lot of Gurmukhs have achieved it is merging in Gurumantar merging in Guru's Shabad what is Guru's Shabad Guru's Shabad is 1430 angs of Gurbani and Vaheguru Guru Mantar. First, we have to merge in that. How do we know we have merged in Guru Mantar when we will sleep, when we will go in Samadhi? Then we start hearing that Shabad. The moment we will merge, meaning we are ready to move to the second side, which is the Gyan Khand, which we will discuss in the afternoon. But as I said, only those will understand about the Gyan Khand who have understood or who have experienced merging in the Guru Mantar. Right? अगर शांति नहीं आ रही ना we need to keep on doing the Simran. Now, the first technique which we discussed, which is there on your screen, I've tried to put some notes there. In these camps, I've started putting more and more notes. I can write a book on it, just on this Sahasgara Simran. But this is something you have to experience on your own. Navel area, the belly button area or the navel area, which is actually different than belly button. ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਨੱਬ ਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨੱਬ ਹੀ ਨਾਭ ਘਾਟ is a very very important area physically, because in this physically behind the physical realm there is a subtle realm. There's a nabhi area, there's a subtle thing which is going on, and we are more focused on the subtle, not the physical. This is where we can break the veil and enter the Sukhman Nadi. You know what the Sukhman Nadi is? It's not physical. Normally, the translation of Nadi is nerve. It is not physical. A lot of people will tell you, just like I mentioned earlier, Guru Nanak Dev Ji has redefined the terms. Sukhman Nadi, people will say it will go through your spine and everything. You might have heard it. But when they are saying they are going through your spine, not the physical spine, what if the spine is broken? What you going to do about it? You cannot do the bhakti then? You cannot meet Vaheguru? So that's why this is the game of mind. So from the Nabhi, the subtle, the Sukham body structure starts. That's why it is called Sukham, because it is connected with the Sukhman. We have to enter the Sukham body because that's where the Naam is present. Sukham Murat, Naam Niranjan, Kaya Ka Akar. That's where the Naam is there. And our whole physical body is stitched with that Sukham body. And the stitching starts, or the major point of the stitch, when you go to a tailor, they have, certain connections. Okay, this is where I put the more stitches and also that the cloth can connect with another one. The same thing, our physical body is connected with there. And it is connected. Those stitches are called chakras. Gurbani call it a kar. छे कर छे गुर छे उपदेश गुर गुर एको वेश अनेक. Now, in the other ideology, they believed that every house has its own guru. They have also created the physical houses also, the physical schools also. So that's why sometimes when you will read the translations, they will say, oh, there are 6 schools of thoughts, right? But they are giving the gyan of the physical body and the subtle body. But Maharaj says we don't need a gyan of a physical body. If you want to need a wisdom of a physical body, anatomy of a physical body, you can ask a dead medical doctor from the medical science. You can read the books regarding that. They're going to tell you how many nerves are there, how you, when you do an ultrasound, MRI scan, what you're going to see. You're not going to see a Sukhman Nadi there. You're not going to find it. You're not going to see a subtle body there. You do MRI scans, you do X-rays, anything, you're not going to find it because it's not physical. If it would be physical, you will find it, right? So that's why we have to understand this game is of the invisible game. You are going to experience it. So whenever you are doing a Sasgara Simran, you have to put your tummy little bit in, not much, very little. Va, tummy in, Guru, tummy out. But focus should not be in the tummy where the navel is. The focus should not be there. The focus should be still in your own voice with love. Sarvani suniye, rasna gaiye, hirde te aiye, soe. Right? Sarvani, Sarvan is kan. Your ears are called Sarvan. Sarvani suniye, listen from your ears. Chant from your tongue. Guru Pyareo, let me be very honest with you. Even if you can do this forever till your last breath, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਓਗੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਓਗੇ, ਭੀੜ ਭੜੱਕੇ ਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਓਗੇ. You will be mukt. But the question is, are you doing it or not? Same thing about Gurbani. If you will read the Gurbani, sing the Gurbani with love and understand what Gurbani is telling you, lot of Kirtanis, they will read this Shabad, Kal Yug mein Kirtan Pardana. What is the next line? Gurmukh japiye laye dhyana. And Kirtan, I don't have a Gurbani Stuk in front of me. You can read it, you can find it out, but I guarantee you, Kirtan will have a onkad. Wherever you will see an onkad, that means one Kirtan. It's a singular, it's a noun, it is a naam. It's Vaheguruji's naam. What is Pradhan? Naam is the Pradhan. It's not me saying, Gurbani is telling us. Kal Yug mein Kirtan Pradhana Gurmukh japiye laye dhyana. Tun mein dhyan, dhyan mein janya, Gurmukh akat kahani. Did you brought your diary and a pen, Put? Yeah, so note it down. We are only going to answer the questions after the session because sometimes there is a disturbance. Okay, note it down. I will answer each and every question. Okay, you can tell me later. Okay, thank you. कलयुग में कीर्तन प्रधाना गुरमुख जपिए लाए ध्याना. The idea is we have to go in stillness. Who has to be still? Mind has to be still. It might happen while doing the simran, your body may fall down, which we try to avoid, especially when we are sitting in the front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, because we have to take care, utmost respect to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. A respect has to be there, right? But when you are alone, if you are even falling down, that is fine. But try so that you don't get hurt. When you are doing Simran, especially a sad Simran like this, Guru, आओ जी करिए सहज सिमरन, अखा बंद कर लो and follow me. Okay, listen to it for 3 times and then from the 4th time let's do it together and never put breaks. Simran has to be nirantar. ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦਾ ਬੋਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਬਾਕੀ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ, ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਚੁੱਪ ਕੀਤਾ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਬੋਲਿਆ. ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ. Never ever do that, because everything in this Brahmand is continuous. It's continuous. Continuity is there. Now just think about it. If I tell you, take a swas for 1 minute and for 2 minutes be silent, and then again take a swas, then again be silent. No. Everything has to be nirantar. ਆਓ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਵੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਹਿਜ ਵਿੱਚ we have to do the simran and we have to learn how to go in sun, how to go in samadhi. ਆਓ 3 times I will do, 4th time you join me and we continuously together we do it. ਆਓ Guru 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 Go inside. अंदर चले जाओ. Internal सिमरन. Observe your natural breath. When the breath is going in naturally, don't force it. When the breath is going in the mind, say Wah. When the breath is coming out, say Guru. Natural breath. Breath going in, breath coming out. Don't force it. Just observe it. Sit on the tip of your nose. Put the dhyan there and observe your breath there. Breath going in the mind say Wah. Breath coming out, in the mind say Guru.